Good morning, y'all. So this is another garden video update. It's been a while since you've seen one. I've been recording them, but you know, things happen. I'm gardening. So we're gonna start over here with the corn. This one is actually forming ears. I'm gonna show you in a minute. This one finally has its tassels, but no silks yet. So we'll see. Hopefully it's gonna get some ears. This is my biggest ear of corn so far. So I've been trying to do some hand pollinating. There's another little one down there. There's a few of them on here. I've been trying to hand pollinate. So hopefully we're gonna get some real corn, which is just delightful to me. Here's these big guys. They're definitely a bigger variety. And here are my lima beans. There's lots of them in there. They're not fat yet, so they can't be picked. I had to make a little corral for them because they were getting unruly. You may notice that this bed is now empty, largely, on that side of the trellis, because I pulled and harvested everything that was in here. I harvested my kale, the rest of the collards. I harvested the greens probably a week or two ago because they were getting ready to go to seed and there was a big storm coming. So this is actually, some of it's already been planted. I've got some beets in here. I've got some rutabagas. I put some more beans in, some different ones, some kohlrabi, turnips. No rutabagas. Rutabagas are spring. Turnips is what I meant. This is my cantaloupe vines. I'll show you. I've got some fruit setting on those. This is my sweet potatoes. They haven't blossomed yet. I don't know if they have to in order for it to make sweet potatoes. So I'm hoping they're doing a lot of good underneath. By the way, my garden does not have a coke problem. It is diatomaceous earth, because I was really starting to have a lot of squash beetles and things eating at my leaves. These are purple whole peas that are just now finally starting to make some peas. This is my Santa Fe Grande pepper. It's done very well. I lost the last couple to ants. This bell pepper is doing great. This is actually a red bell pepper. It's got 4 big ones on there. So we're waiting for them to turn red. Carrots. I don't know. I'm not super hopeful about that, but I'm going to sow some more. Okra. This, by the way, has been my favorite. I hadn't planned on growing it, but I'm glad I did crop. And I actually just planted some more okra seeds to see if I can get some more going, because it's been delightful. You get a couple every couple days, and I roasted them for the first time, and it is probably my favorite way to have them now. My Roma tomatoes, which are really for sauce, are doing great. I had to stake them up. They're way taller than the stakes now, but I did it ahead of the storm. Here is, so let's do the melons. Here's 1 little melon, 2 little melon, 3 little melons, 4 little melons. You'll see they're in the slings so they don't fall off. I had another one, but I accidentally cut the plant when I was clearing stuff out the other day. It was a little heartbreaking, but it happens. These are red noodle beans, which is just kind of cool, the way they grow. I've got some more on the other side. That's I don't know who that is, actually. It's hard to tell who's coming from where anymore. There's my little pollinators. As afraid as I was of bees when I was growing up, I would have never thought that I would be just wandering around and enjoying them. There's a little pickling cucumber. I try and pick them right as I need them because they get flaccid pretty quickly. I've cleared out a lot of leaves down here, you can see. These are some more slicers growing. This is a little crooked slicer. I'm letting him fatten up as much as possible. This is very exciting to me because I was about to pull this plant out, which I threatened it with, which may be why it's now growing. But this is my lemon cucumber, and it's finally setting. I've got 1, 2 on it that I can see. There may be some more. But I threatened it the other day, and perhaps it saw what I did to the beans that were over here. So, I don't know. It started setting fruit a couple days ago. This is my fake snakes. I forgot to warn y'all up front about those. I pulled 3 better boys off of that. They've been lovely. Here's the back of my bean corral. This is very exciting. Look, baby eggplant. So I don't actually eat eggplant, or I haven't, but one of the things I've learned with gardening is some of the things I thought I didn't like, I love when they're fresh. This is the back end of the butternut patch, which I mentioned. I don't know if I had posted that video, but I decided to let it take over the yard, which was a very good idea. You'll see more here in just a second. It's a little hard to see through the grass, but I have a lot of butternut coming in. These are Kajari melons. They're just kind of a different type of cantaloupe type melon. So we'll see how those do. That one may need a little bit of a sling to keep him healthy. But I'm getting a little handful of cucumbers. You know, it's funny because I was feeling a little ways about not getting more. There's another little pollinator friend. Oh, he went on the backside, he's shy. There's some more cucumbers growing up here. There's a nice shot of my melon. If these things come to fruition, I will be known for my melons. No, I forgot what I was saying because I was cracking myself up. Oh, I was upset because I wasn't getting bigger harvests. And what I've become grateful for, because there's always something to learn to surrender to and become grateful for, is that it's actually coming in a time that I can eat it. Because if I got really big harvests on some of these things, I can't eat it all. You know, and I'm good with giving it away and have given some stuff away, but I just realized, I was like, what are you upset about? You have what you need. So anyway, just a little lesson. Here's more red noodle beans. So these should all be ready in the next day or two. Apparently you can't let them get too long or they get tough. I think this is actually a cucumber that's come all the way over, but there's also a melon vine in here. You can see the beans trying to escape. Again, a little crowded this year. These are my black-eyed peas. I've had a couple nice harvests from them. Looks like they're just getting some more blooms. So we'll see. If they're really not doing anything, I'll end up pulling them. This is the back of my watermelons. I'll show you here in a second. It's very exciting. The other one, a tomato. These are, I think these are cow peas that are just finally starting to bloom. I just replanted this the other day with some dill, a different type than I have. This, if you remember back when I gave some squash starts away, somebody gave me a little twig of mint. This is mint. This is why you never plant mint in your yard, because it just takes over. So here's my watermelons. This is the littlest, newest guy. He already got a sling. I put everybody in slings the other day because we had the big storm come through. Here's another one. He's gotten nice and fat. And here's another one. He's doing pretty well there himself. I had another one, but it was a casualty of the storm. We got so much rain. We got about 5 inches of rain over the course of about 15, 20 hours. And watermelons will burst, and he did. So we bless him, we thank him, but he didn't make it. These are another type of cantaloupe. They've struggled a little bit to set, but I feel like I just saw one out here earlier, so we'll see. And they're liking having this bed to themselves. This bed I also had pulled. I pulled my squash. My squash did not do well this year, and so I pulled it, and I have I'm gonna put my brassicas in here. So my broccoli, my cabbage, Brussels sprouts, all that kind of stuff. Here's my big first butternut squash. And then everything else is set outside of the bed. So there's a couple there. It's still setting, by the way. So I'm gonna really have to work on a storage solution. Here's another one. It's delightful. You know, I can't get too close to them because there's the one I showed you from before. There's about 4 of them down in here. And then I just saw today, it's still setting. So I've got about 8 or 10 that are pretty good size. And then it's still setting squash, which is exciting. My potatoes over here, they were really starting to die back, but you know, all this rain has kind of kept them going. So what I've learned about it is you let them die all the way back to brown and then don't water them for a couple weeks. These are the figs, are still going strong. Other than the first ones, the early ones, they're not really ripe yet. So I don't know, they're actually a little small for this time of season too. So I think that's everything in the backyard. I'll put up a separate shot of my sunflowers, which I'm just delighted by. So that's the garden tour. Thanks for watching.